All right, this was I think it was the definition of love. Yep, what love means to 4 and 8-year-olds. Mommy loves me more than anybody. You don't see anybody else kissing me to sleep at night.
Right now, I'm okay.
Love is when Mommy gives Daddy the best piece of chicken. And love is when Mommy sees Daddy smelly and sweaty and still says he's handsomer than Brad Pitt. All right, anything else going on I should know about? You know, I'm nosy. I want to know everything. Nothing? Sheesh. We had a board meeting yesterday and had a new board member. It is your second board meeting? Oh, wow, and you're still here. That's kind of... We just couldn't remember when you were a board member and when we did our last meeting, so, okay. So, yeah, okay. A passenger in a taxi leaned forward to ask a driver a question and tapped him on the shoulder. The driver screamed, lost control of the cab, nearly hit a bus, drew up over the curb for a few moments. Everything was silent in the cab. Then, still shaking, the driver said, "I'm sorry, you scared the daylights out of me." The frightened passenger apologized to the driver and said he hadn't realized a mere tap on the shoulder would have so much response. The driver said, "Oh, no, it's okay. It's entirely my fault. Today is my first day driving a cab. I've been driving a hearse for 23 years. That would do it. I am going to do a Josh Groban song. I don't remember which one. One of them. It doesn't. There it is.
Are we ready to have a moment of silence, please? Thank you. Clarifying and living one's true purpose. Divine One, I feel as if I come into this life to do something special. I want to do something special and meaningful. I know that there are little things that I do out of kindness. Is that it? Show me what you would have me do. Guide me into my soul's bliss. Direct my steps into fulfillment. My heart and soul yearns for more. Just doing day-to-day things feels empty. There is more. Show me. Make it really clear so that I may move forward fearlessly and joyfully. May it be so. Thank you.
A little bit. Whoops, excuse me. Oh, sorry. So, here we are again. Ting, somebody's tinging. Last time we were together, I shared with you, was it last time? I think it was last time. Maybe it was the time before. I shared with you a bit of a breathing exercise to help uplift our energy. So I want to do that again, but before we do that, I want to give you a little bit more information because I've been holding out on you. What Christopher, when he was here, he mentioned in one of his services about the energy construct we build when we're in church. And not just us, but any church. We'll build an energy construct and then after services it dissipates into the community. So we do that. When we're in services, we build an energy construct. And The third person came to me a couple of weeks ago and told me they saw it. When your energy is uplifted high enough, you'll experience it. And what it looks like and feels like is the roof vanishes. And either all you will see is stars in the universe, or you'll see just the angelic realms. And you'll have a sense of all the beings that are here to support and encourage us. So when the third person came to me and said they experienced that, I thought, oh, we're ready. You know, it's like the 100th monkey. Remember the story of the 100th monkey? And one monkey started washing its food, and then soon other monkeys started washing their food. And when 100 monkeys on this one island washed their food, they began to observe monkeys on another island were washing their food. So this energy or this awareness got communicated somehow. And that's how we grow. It's how we are uplifted. And for me, it's 3. Whenever there's a third person or a third situation or a third time, if you've ever experienced something, the first time it's like, oh, that's different. Second time, oh, what do you know? That could be something. And the third time, oh, I get it. There's something's trying to be communicated to me here. I need to pay attention. That makes sense to you? So the third person experienced that. So I want you just to be aware that from when we come in, we're all talking, and that's so wonderful because that starts the foundation that we're building in this space and that foundation of joy. And then from that foundation, then this energy continues to build. And what it looks like for me is that there's this kind of dome that kind of comes up over the whole building. And this is a dome of energy. And when you get your energy uplifted, you may have a sense, whether you see it with your mind's eye or you see it with your physical eyes, it's the same seeing, you'll have a sense that there's no roof, that we're open just to the heavens. We're open to the ethereal realms. So you probably have already experienced that, or some of you have. Just stay tuned and know that you probably will. And don't freak out, it's normal. Okay? Well, it's not normal, but it is normal to us. So the breathing thing that I wanted you to do, this uplifting breathing, I wanted to work with it a little bit better, get the words better, because I had the idea of what I wanted to share with you, but at the same time, I'm not sure I was very clear last time. So here, let's do this again. So the energy that we're looking at is I want you to, with your senses, just sense out into the universe and have a sense of the vastness of space. Can you do that? Just sense out into the universe. You might see it in your mind's eye, you might not. But you'll have a sense that there is so much more out there. There's constellations and planets and suns and stars and all kinds of stuff out there. And space. And it was all created out of this energy of joy. Again, God didn't wake up one morning and go, gotta go make that darn earth. It's the day I gotta do that. It was done out of joy. This joyful creation. Have you ever done something creative and how joyful that is? I went to a class last night called Zentangles. And we ended up doing these little things. They're so cute. And I didn't know I could do that, but she gave us some really clear instructions and I was able to do some little art tiles. And the energy of that was very meditative and very clear and very calming. And when I was done, I was like, oh, looky. I could do that. It's good. That's the same energy that on the first day God said, looked and saw, it was good. It's good. So this creation has this joyful, good energy. And by being aware of that, you can tap into that. And when you tap into that energy, you're just aware of it out there, you can sweep that up, and if you let it come to over the top of your head, if you can imagine up here, visualize something that you love, something you appreciate, or something you enjoy. If you enjoy taking your dog for a walk, put that up there. If you have a favorite trip you took, put that up there. Something you love, something you appreciate, or something you enjoy, and put that there. And when you connect this energy, this universal energy, with whatever this is that you've chosen, the energy, then you can breathe out your heart space as a gift. It becomes compassion because you want everybody to have something they love, something they appreciate, or something they enjoy, right? Yes. That's a prayer, a blessing you can offer, and that helps build our energy construct. So it helps build you as your own personal energy construct, and it helps this whole energy field that we're creating. Then at the end of services, when our energy circle is done and we break, that energy just dissipates into the community. How beautiful is that? So do you have something that you love, appreciate, or enjoy? Put that there. And just open your hands and let that energy sweep across the top of your head from the universe. Pull that energy from the universe across the top of your hands, up your shoulders, and let it touch what you love. And you hope that for everyone. And on the exhale, exhale that as a compassionate blessing to everyone. So let's do that again. Inhale and exhale compassion. Inhale that expansive, vast energy, and exhale loving, compassionate blessing. One more time. Inhale and exhale that blessing. Wonderful. How does that feel? Does that feel pretty good? All right. So now we can just maintain that energy and allow that energy to feed and serve you, and allow that energy to build within our group here. How fun is that? So I want to talk to you briefly today. The title of our message is Refocus. Way, way back in my history, long, long, long ago, ancient times, I was a visual therapist. And I loved it. It was a great fun job. And the blessing of that was we could take people who their perceptions were off and do all these exercises and whatever, and their vision would improve. Not just how they, seeing 20/20, not just that, but how they could perceive their world. We would have little kids who couldn't read, and we do these exercises, and they would read really well and have comprehension. Because what happens if the eyes are not working together, they're working against each other. There's an eye-brain connection. If this eye is perceiving this right here, and this eye is perceiving this over there, you're going to run into things, bump into things, get tangled up in things. So this visual ability is more than just seeing. It's the ability to perceive what your eyes are experiencing. And that's part of the brain part of it. So by getting the brain in line with the eyes and the eyes in line with the brain appropriately, then we saw a tremendous improvement in not only reading skills, but in behavior skills of some children. And I even was able to help someone who had an accident. He was quite an athlete, and he had taken a parachute jump, and the parachute didn't open. And so he was pretty messed up, and his vision was all off. And after, maybe 3 or 4 months of work, his vision was improved and his stability was improved. He could walk better, and because he was perceiving his world better. He was perceiving his environment better. So how we perceive is not just a matter of our eyesight. It's our interpretation of our world, and it's our understanding of our world. And the problem with that is that our come from determines what we're seeing. What you have right now, what you're experiencing right now is the manifestation of what you saw 5 years ago. Don't like it? Change your view. Change your perception. Refocus your attention. One of the things that we did that was simple in the visual therapy was that the eyes could come to a complete state of rest and see clearly when you did a sweeping motion. Let me show you. I want you to do it too. But let me show you first. If you just sweep your eyes, like here, I've got mid-vision, that's further away, that's way far away, and then this is much closer. So as your eyes are sweeping in just a gentle motion like this, they're perfectly at rest with your brain. And the brain and the eyes will perceive their world. Now, stand up. Try not to hit your neighbor with, don't fling you don't have to fling big. But just kind of let yourself sweep and let your eyes just go unfocused and see how your world, see how that feels. Now this is great eye exercise for improving your vision. Okay, so have a seat again. You can do that. One time my eyes weren't doing really well. I thought, well, I just need to do my eye exercises. So I did this like 20 times in a day, and the next day my eyes were so sore. Oh, have you ever had your pupils sore? So go gentle with this. It's powerful stuff. But you can change your vision by just doing some simple things like that. But this allows your brain and your eyes to work in harmony and relax. A lot of times we get spun up with what's going on in our world, and so then the eyes tighten. Have you ever read something, when we're working on these little art thingies? It was so funny, we're over there. By the time I got to the second one, my eyes were like stuck. It's called fixated. Your eyes get fixated. If your eyes ever get fixated when you've been working on the computer, or you're working on something and you feel your eyes get kind of stuck, you look up and it's really, really blurry, they're fixated. Do this sweepy thing that relaxes this fixation, and you get to see things from a clearer perspective. Now here's the thing. Energetically, the same rings true. If we're fixated on what's wrong in our life, all these little details, because there's lots of little details in that little thing, we get fixated on that. And that's all we can see. Even if we look up, the real world out there is fuzzy. It's blurry. Some of you young people don't have this problem yet. Because older eyes will do this more quickly than younger eyes. But just stay tuned that even younger eyes can get fixated on stuff. But we get fixated on our world, on what's not working. But we can unfixate. Just as a gentle sweeping of looking at things from a different perspective, we can have a refreshing new perspective. And the wonderful thing is God knows this. Divine Source knows this. Higher Power knows this. And He'll bring, he, she, we, with, they, whatever, will bring stuff to us to help us open our eyes. And often if we're fixated, we can't see it. Because we're stuck. We're stuck in what is. We're stuck in what we've been doing. You know, after doing this little marking for, you know, you get, this is how it is. This is all I can see. So take a new look at your life. Take a new look at your experience of life. What would you like to change? Like Carol read in our prayer this morning. You know, awaken us to our purpose. Marianne's going to be doing a visioning workshop. Find your vision. It's important. And even if you don't know how, having a sense of it is really important. When they do the cross-country running, you know, they'll start here and then they end up way over there. They'll walk that first so they know where they're going. They know what the path is going to look like. They know what the destination is before they start. And then they can take the journey. Having a clue of what your heart desires is really, really important. You don't have to have all the specifics, but you got to know the direction you're going, right? And then you do what you got to do here. Do the next right thing and then the next right thing. And things will really manifest, will come to you more, and different things will come to you. And it'll be a surprise. Go, oh, who knew? I didn't know that existed. Because we were fixated on other things. I want to read you from Matthew, a story Jesus told. Matthew chapter 6. Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow, neither do they reap, nor they gather into barns. Yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not worth much more than they? Which of you, being anxious, can add a single cubit to his lifespan? I think this is really funny. Because being anxious the cubit to your lifespan, well, your lifespan is time, and a cubit is a measurement of length. So, I thought he was really funny. Jesus is funny. I think he's funny. So being anxious doesn't gain you anything. You're not going to live any longer. You're not going to get any taller by being anxious. So, and why are you anxious about clothing? Observe how the lilies of the field grow. They do not toil, nor do they spin. Yet, as I say to you, that even Solomon in all his glory did not clothe himself like one of these. But if God so arrays the grass of the field, which is alive today and tomorrow is thrown into the furnace, will he not much more do so for you, O men of little faith? Do not be anxious then, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, with what shall we clothe ourselves? For all these things the Gentiles eagerly seek, for your heavenly Father knows that you need these things. We all do. We all got to eat. We all got to put clothes on our bodies. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. Therefore, do not be anxious for tomorrow will take care of itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. Birdies, Phil threw out birdseed yesterday. They were flocked on just yumming this stuff up. They loved it. Even birds have to know where to go to feed. They have to have an idea of what's good for them, what's good for their bodies, and they follow those directives. And I think they have a birdie telegraph, because Phil will throw, Mary's in the back going, yeah, I think they do too. So Phil throws a seed out and one little birdie will come. The next thing you know, there's a whole bunch of birds. I think they have this little telegraph thing. There's food at the Lynches! Come on! Old Country Buffet, here we are. Then the squirrels come and it's fun. But knowing what to do comes from this center place, this refocused place that's open to new possibilities. And if we're focused on how stuck we are, how bad it is, or what the problem is, we won't be able to see that. So shifting and refocusing and allowing ourselves to breathe, allowing our brain and eyes to kick in a new perspective is really, really valuable, really, really important, and effortless. It takes no time at all to do that, does it? Just took a moment just to sweep a little bit, just to gently change our perspective, change our moments. Taking time to write or doodle or do something creative is really helpful in allowing us to shift out of the fixation of this is how it is, this is the struggle that I'm experiencing. And I'm speaking to myself on this one because, you know, when you care, things go, oh my God, I should be able to fix that. No, you can't fix that. It's not my job to fix that. But I want to fix that. I want to help that person. No, not my job. They get to find their own way. I get to be okay with that. God knows this. But I'm busy trying to tell God, you watch for that one, would you? Because they need some help here. I can't watch them, so are you watching them? Are you? There they are. Right, are you watching them? No, back up, relax. God's got this. God's got them. God's got you. It's all good. Because if we step out of that place of being anxious or stressing about stuff, then that creative energy kicks in. Then we're tapped in to the universal flow that guides us effortlessly. So do we want to stay in hungering and craving that? Or do we want to just be that? That's the choice here. We can choose to step into this free flow that, okay, I'm out of control here, but I've got my destination. I know what it looks like. I know what it feels like. For me, I think knowing what you my brain and my mouth not working right. If you don't know what you're meant to do, sometimes knowing what you don't like is a big clue. What annoys the snot out of you? You came to change that snot. So Phil and I had this conversation years and years ago, and he was between jobs and whatever, and I think this was before the church. So I was just starting out in my business, and we talked about that, and he said, well, you know, it just annoys me that people make decisions and they don't have the information. So what does Phil do? Phil gives people information so they can make clear decisions. And he is so happy doing it. What annoyed me was churches, and they just stuck, and it's so, and grab one, right? And so that's why we have Divine Fellowship. So what irritates you? What bothers you? Look at that. That's what you came to heal. That's what you came to fix. That's what you came to serve. Make sense? I have people laughing at me. That's fine. Not laughing at me, but laughing at the situation. So, it's a different perspective, is it not? It's a different perspective. And it allows you to refocus your attention. But instead of the attention on what irritates us, because, oh God, Lord Almighty, there's a lot of stuff that irritates, isn't it? I mean, this is irritating and that's irritating. Well, take the irritation out of it and look at it. And we take the irritation out of it and look at it, there's your mission. Or a portion of your mission. So I strongly encourage you to take Marianne's class and kind of formulate that a little bit more. Because guess what? We're not meant to just drudge through life, day after day after day. We're meant to do something really, really important. And maybe that really, really important is little, but you get 50, 60, 100 people doing something really little that's really, really important, and we change the world. You were already changing the world, are you not?
Yes.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. So, with that said, Mr. Phil, would you join me up front?